Hello guys, Happy New Year, and I hope you're all well and good and ready to kick off 2022. I thought I would do a quick forecast video for the week ahead, as I'm only just getting back into trading, or will be tomorrow morning on the 4th of January. Haven't traded since the 23rd of December. I know some people have been trading all through this period, but I've had some time off to reflect, also obviously work on the course content, and I thought I'd give a little preview of what you can expect on a regular basis within the course by doing a forecast now. So yeah, let's start off with the weekly, and what we've got here is, well, we haven't really changed much since, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 weeks ago. We tapped into this demand zone over here, and we've kind of refined it down to the bottom wick area of this, and we did expect some sort of reaction to this zone. It's a flip zone on the weekly, meaning we've reacted to the supply of this wick here. The reaction failed and prices continued moving up. So yeah, we had this very sideways action from the weekly, but what we could look for, and I've kind of been saying, is we look at the swing high and the swing low on the weekly, and we could well expect a pullback to perhaps this supply zone here, which is just in the premium area of the current weekly range. So whether we'll get something along the lines of continued sort of sideways price action like this until we just tap this zone and then continue on down, breaking the swing low, or price might want to come up to this supply zone, although that's not looking super likely at the moment. There's not a heck of a lot of bullish movement, but hey, you never know. So yeah, that's what we could expect from the weekly. Of course, it may just shoot straight down from here. It may have enough from this area. It doesn't always reach the premium, doesn't always do anything. But that's currently how I would look at the weekly. And so we'll go down to the daily. You know, the weekly doesn't always tell us that much, and especially with this sideways movement we've been having for the past ages. Yeah, so the daily is looking fairly interesting as well. You can see more clearly how sideways we've been for the past few weeks, and only just yesterday we just broke and closed above the daily swing high here, and if this candle stays the way it is and closes like this today, we will have cemented this as the new daily swing high. But obviously I would have to wait for this candle close to confirm that. But if we have confirmed that the daily has changed bullish just about on this time frame, so yeah, that's interesting, which could mean we will get our eventually weekly pullback into this premium area, and then we can refine a zone here on the daily as this, because this was also a weekly supply zone, so that could be an area we'd look to, and then we'd possibly sort of sweep these relatively equal highs we've had here, even though with this candle we've also swept this one just about, so this could just move down from here, and has, yeah, so we're not really sure what price could do. We're just sort of looking at all situations with a forecast. So on the daily, we could continue with this sort of slow bullish movement up to this zone and then get a reaction from there. Or of course it could be a much further up reaction. This would also be a weekly supply zone refined down to a daily. I mean, it could also be something in this extreme sort of, if we saw this as some kind of liquidity, we could sweep above there into something here, and we would expect to get some sort of sells from this area as it would be from a weekly extreme. So yeah, that's kind of how I would see the daily at the moment. So let's go down to the 4 hour. And the 4 hour currently isn't a heck of a lot different to the daily, apart from we have cemented this new high. So of course we've closed above the 4 hour swing high now. Obviously we had this long range here that was bearish for a while, but then we didn't get a further bearish close when this was the current swing low, and then we got a bullish close above, so our swing low actually moved to the lowest point before we broke above here. So this is our current range on the 4 hour between this swing low and this swing high, and obviously right now we are in this demand zone, which is in the discount area in the 4 hour range. Whether we'll get a reaction here, we'll see, but it does look fairly nice. This refined down to maybe in a 1 hour or a 15-minute might look like a nice zone. I'll check that out right now, see what that looks like on the 1 hour. Yeah, so I would refine this down to maybe these 2 wicks here, and we can see we've had quite a nice reaction there. And we'll also look at the 15-minute at some point, but we'll go back to the 4 hour for now. There's also I would take this zone. That's pretty much been mitigated. There is the bottom of this wick that's still left unmitigated, and also this extreme area down here that we could look for possible longs from, as we are technically bullish, and at the same time we've had a close above and a close below before that, so you know we're still kind of just ranging. So playing the extremes of areas is also good. So if price gets down here, I would be interested if the 15-minute gives us a chock or something like that. I'll be looking at playing longs from this area, as we're still, it looks like we're still fairly rangy. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the 4 hour, as I say. So if I go down to the 15-minute now, which is where we more look for trades and everything, we can sort of see that yes, we had one bullish break here and then another bullish break here, but then after that we had a very strong bearish swing break down here. So what I would ideally like to see is another bearish break here. So if we got a further bearish break down here on the 15-minute, that would actually give us a smaller range to work with. So we'd get something, say this was the swing high, maybe this would be the new swing low somewhere down here, and then that would give us a bit more regular price action. It would show we've broken out of at least the 15-minute range, and we could look at more regular price action than we have had to the past few weeks, where we've been looking more at substructure within the larger 15-minute range. So that would be nice for me. But we never know. We could, of course, just shoot up from here, continuing this large, rangy sort of behavior. So what would I look for in this area to get involved on the 15-minute? Because longs would technically be counter trend, because the last thing we did was break structure to the downside. But as on the 4 hours, we've had both a strong high break followed by a strong low break, and that often tells us that we're going to get more sideways movement. So what have we had so far? We've had what I would class as a change of character. We haven't quite yet on the 15-minute, but for a change of character, I'll look for any kind of break in price. So obviously, while these movements here wouldn't count as swing structure for me, that would count as substructure, and a chop for me is a break of substructure. So if price breaks and closes above this high here, which is the latest substructure high for me on the 15-minute, I would class that as a change of character, and we haven't closed above that yet. So once we do, I would be potentially interested in looking at longs on the 15-minute. So that's something I would be waiting for maybe tomorrow morning during London. I mean, we'll have to see what happens overnight. But yeah, if we got something above here, close above here, then I'd be looking at maybe this demand zone to look for further longs, back up to maybe this area here where there could be something for us. But yeah, I would just, if I were to get in a long, I would just do the usual trailing my stop loss, because when the market's being rangy as it is, we don't know whether we're planning for it to get to the extreme, even break structure. It's broken a high, it's broken a low, it could break another high, or it's just going to go a little bit and then carry on to the downside. And it's hard to ever know that, so I just trail my stops and take what it gives me. So yeah, that's pretty much what I would be looking for in the 15-minute kind of forecast, the high time frames. What is price telling me? What I like to do is obviously refer back to what I learned from the weekly. So obviously I haven't done that yet, and our weekly expectation was, for example, to maybe get to this supply zone up here. So a further break to the upside, you know, we could break to the upside and then break the downside and just get even bigger ranges, or we could now break to the upside and get some small movement up into this zone and then go for shorts. It's all just about what could happen, rather than trying to say what will happen. But yeah, I hope that was valuable to some people, and yeah, it's kind of just a small taster of what is to come in the MagicFX Academy, coming 14th of January. So yeah, working hard on that at the moment and looking forward to sharing what I've got with you. So yeah, thanks guys.